Hello, it's Raven here. Welcome back to my channel, the Rich with Raven YouTube channel, where I am discussing all things in regards to my journey as a Christian entrepreneur. And I'm also sharing tips, resources, advice, and tools to help you alongside your journey to get to 6 and 7 figures as a Christian entrepreneur. So, what I want to talk about in this video is simply the kind of content that I feel like we should be mindful of watching right now as Christian entrepreneurs. So let me kind of give y'all like a quick, just like context on where this is coming from. Even though we are in the month of March, right? There's still a ton of content online where people are making videos about here's what's working for me, here's what's doing this, here's what's doing that, here's what's not working. And I believe that that is content that we have to be very careful in watching. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be watching it. I'm not saying that, I wouldn't consume that type of content every now and then. But what I'm saying is that sometimes that's the kind of content that we have to really like take with a grain of salt. And we have to take it with a grain of salt because here's the thing. Right now, I think that business is in a time where, and I say this as somebody that's been an entrepreneur for like 17 years. I think right now that business is truly in a time where um everything is tricky. It's like something that can work 1 month may not work the next month. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are kind of getting caught off guard. I think that that's why a lot of people are really frustrated with their businesses because we are so used to it being like, okay, here's this one strategy. That's the strategy that I'm using for however long. Like basically, it's kind of like a if it's not broke, don't fix it mindset when it comes to strategy. But right now, we're finding ourselves in a position a lot of times where sometimes strategies are only working for a short amount of time, right? And that leads me to my point of why we have to be careful consuming content about here's what's working, here's what's not working, because you got to let God speak to you about what is going to work for your business. Business has never been one size fits all. And especially now with what is going on in this world, I feel like it is a lot of people that's just saying silly stuff, like just because it's not working for them, they just try to say that it doesn't work. And for me, I try to be like very careful, like if I'm sharing content about what's working and what's not working. And I try to do that because I feel as though you want to make sure that you're objective in a sense that I am saying that this doesn't work for me. I'm not saying that it won't work for you, but I'm saying that this does not necessarily work for me because it could be somebody that's like, yeah, I'm selling this and it's going great. It could be somebody that's like, yeah, I'm utilizing this and it's going amazing. Like that would almost be like me saying that TikTok shop, like live shopping on TikTok doesn't work. That's something that people are doing very well with, right? Now, I have an e-commerce business, but I have not yet utilized TikTok for like live e-commerce shopping. So I would never say, first of all, right now, I can't say that it has worked for me because I haven't done it. But I also can't say that it won't work for me for the same reason because I have not done it. So right now, I just think that it's a ton of people in the marketplace that are spewing out information like this doesn't work, this does work. And I also think too, because there are a lot of businesses that's shutting down, unfortunately, I think that people are not giving stuff as much time to work as they used to. And realistically, we have to be mindful of the fact that people are making decisions in a different way than they were making decisions before. And so, with that being said, something that you might have used to do, 6 years ago to convert people into clients and they would convert within 30 days, that might take 90 days now. So it's a lot of things that we have to be mindful of, just in terms of what we're saying is working, what we're saying is not working. And make sure that you are going to God about everything. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Even advice that you might find here on my channel, take it to God. Does this work for me? Should I be doing this right now? The last thing that I want somebody to do is be focusing on what God is telling you to focus on. And then you come on here and you see something that I said, and you're like, "Oh, maybe I should change my strategy and I should do this." I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't. If God gave you those instructions, He knows what He is doing. He knows what's on the other side of you following those instructions. So just be careful, y'all. Like, it's so much advice like on the internet. And when I tell y'all, like, some of the stuff I have seen is just, it's insane. Like, I saw this one person, not somebody I follow, but it just like came up in my feed. And this man is like, yeah, I'm breaking down my $400,000 a month paycheck. So I'm looking at how this man is breaking it down, and I'm seeing all of this money that's going towards lifestyle. I'm seeing all this money that's going towards a driver. I'm seeing all this money that is going towards DoorDash and your personal chef and your trainer. And I'm not knocking those things. I think it's great, right? But the problem is, like, why you not putting no money into investments? I don't see none of that. The wealth planner in me is screaming because why you not putting no money into your investments? Like, why you don't have no money going to Fidelity somewhere? Why you don't have no money going towards Charles Schwab somewhere or whatever brokerage you're using for your investments? What are you doing? And so I didn't say nothing because I'm real big on like not arguing with people on the internet. But baby, a bunch of people in the comments was saying what I was thinking. And it was literally people trying to justify this person not investing. And I'm like, you will never convince me that investing is a bad thing. I don't care what the stock market is doing. We know that the stock market goes up and down, but you're not about to convince me that I should not be investing. Like, I am not going to believe, I'm not taking financial advice from nobody that is talking about saving over investing. I'm just not doing it because it does not make any sense to me. So, prime example of taking things with a grain of salt sometimes that you see on the internet. Like, it is so important. And another thing too, and the scripture comes to mind that tells us we will know them by their fruit. Make sure that the people who are giving you advice, like from the internet, make sure that they're actually doing what they're telling you. I cannot tell y'all how many times I've seen people on a Facebook ad and they will literally say, "Let me show you how you can do this without Facebook ads." So if it's so doable without Facebook ads, why, like you're telling me, why are you giving me this information by way of a Facebook ad? It doesn't make any sense. You can't sell me something and talk about without ads, and you're literally using an ad to tell me. It's like, what do you mean? So just be mindful of the advice that is on the internet. We call it YouTube University for a multitude of different reasons because it's a ton of information. So just be mindful of what you are consuming on here. Make sure that you're taking it back to God. And also make sure that you're taking advice from people that have the same morals as you, people who have the same values as you. Like me personally, I don't want financial advice from somebody who doesn't tithe. I don't. And I don't care who thinks that that's crazy. I don't care who wants to argue in the comments because I will be arguing back with scripture. Okay. It's like, I don't want advice about money from people who don't value their money enough to tithe on it. I don't. And I say that because we know that tithing is something that is not even just about tithing, being like showing that you're trusting God and bringing increase, but tithing also protects our crops. That's what the scripture says in the book of Malachi. So it's like, why would I want to take financial advice from somebody that you're so careless with your money that you don't even, tithe? It's like, I'm not interested. And that's just me. Maybe you may feel a little bit different, about it, but that's something that in terms of applying biblical principles and scripture, to the way that I manage my finances, that's something that I believe in. I should say we because I'm married, but that's something that we believe in, in this household. So to me, a person who is not tithing, I don't care how much money you make, I can't really take that serious. We don't have the same things over here that we are valuing. So just consider this, in the midst of all of the stuff that's in the marketplace, all the stuff that's on the internet, and all of the things. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I cannot wait to come back. I'm so excited about what we have lined up for the channel, you guys. So make sure that you are subscribed and locked in so that you know when I will be back on here.